Hello, this is Ray Lutz with Citizens Oversight, and now we're doing a conference call with the Florida volunteers that we have right now. And we have at least one person in Broward, a person in Citrus who's also covering Marion. That's Margaret. I'm sorry, Diana's the first person in Broward. Margaret is in Citrus County, but she's also doing Marion County. Karina Diaz isn't here, but hopefully this recording will get to her. She's in Miami-Dade and her friends. And Sarah Peterson is in Lee County, and she's online. Okay, so let me get to our kind of organizing document, which was the oversight suggestions in Arizona and Florida. And let's see here. Let's just go over this really quickly. We decided on the counties that we were targeting. The most important are the red ones. That's really all we're doing right now. But there's two more in here that we decided to make it 15%, or make it 15, and it's about 50% of the voters. That's good. And we had this schedule that we've been working on, and we had in Marion a machine count done, and then they went on to a manual count. So Margaret, since you went to that, I guess you went to the manual count. What happened today? Why don't you just tell us? Margaret? Let me see what's happening here. Do I have to do something? I think you're able to, you're talking, but I'm not hearing you for some reason. Let me make sure that my sound is working.
Maybe, maybe she has to unmute her phone, perhaps. If she's on her phone, maybe she has to
I think you're, well, she successfully has done this before. So, Margaret, is something new that you're doing? Because I see in the chat you're saying you're talking, but I don't hear you. I think you have to unmute yourself in your control panel in the system, not just on your computer. Oh, you did that. Okay. I'll call in on my phone. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, Margaret's going to call in on her phone. I don't know. She's having computer trouble. And so we'll get her on the phone. Now, Margaret, while she's coming online, has been a really good organizer. She was the first one in Florida to help out figuring out which counties to target, you know, getting all the information about where they were, lining up the dates for everything here that we have, and going to the Marion County random draw, which she did video record. And that's pretty, it isn't the best recording, but it's actually pretty interesting to watch and learn about how they did it there. Still not seeing anybody new. I don't see Margaret calling in yet. Margaret, are you called in? Did you call in? Oh, here we go.
I'm in.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can hear you. Wow, it's weird. Something happened there. All right. So Margaret, let's go to you. So what happened? You went to the manual count today, or what?
Yeah. Are you getting an echo? Are you getting an echo from my phone?
A little bit. It's not bad for me. Let me.
Okay. First, a little bit of an explanation of why
Oh, you know what it might be?
Had to have.
Let me turn off the other one just to make sure that's it. Okay, now go ahead. See what happens. Maybe that's the reason for the echo. Go ahead.
Okay, is that better? No. I'm going in another room, so you can't pick that up. All right. Is this better?
Well, you know what might be happening? Make sure you don't have your sound turned on your computer. You're going to have to only use your phone for all your sound. Turn your sound off of your computer, okay?
How's that?
Oh, much better. See, that was it. So we were hearing the sound coming out of your computer, going back into your phone, and then going out of the computer, back in the phone, etc. Okay. All right, now go ahead. Tell us what happened.
Okay, so today was the second recount. The first one was a machine recount, which they do whenever there is less than a 5% difference between candidates in a race. And it's ordered by the Secretary of State. And in this case, it was more than one county involved, because this was for a U.S. representative, I think, and it was a Democrat candidate, and it evidently involves precincts in other counties. So there will be other recounts as well. But today was the manual recount, which happens when after you do the automated recount, if there is less than 0.25% difference, then there is a manual recount. So that's what happened today. And they really can't always schedule these things with a lot of notice, because the order came from the Secretary of State on Saturday, I think, or Sunday, yesterday. So he got the information out, as you know, in fairly timely manner, considering when he got the order that he had to do this, and rounded everybody up. What happens? This is not a great audit, or this is not a great recount even, because all they count are overvotes and undervotes.
Yeah, see, that's really ridiculous. That's really ridiculous that they're using. This is really, I think, just pathetic what they're doing, because they're doing this so-called manual recount, but it isn't even close to being any kind of an audit, and I'm very disappointed. But go on.
That's true. Though he did say this is the first time they've ever done a manual recount in many years, or a recount period. So maybe it doesn't happen that often. But I've seen several come up, and that's definitely a way you can avoid an audit. But you know, you'd have to fix that too to make sure that you had a race that was that close.
Yeah, but I guess it's not just. I was thinking that maybe they could have, like, let's say if you wanted to fix it so you could fix the election, you would just ask for a recount, like demand a recount, and there was a way to do that. But it doesn't look like that's available, and so it's less likely that it's somebody doing it. But I do think that, like, if you know there might be a race that's close, which race is it?
It was the U.S. Congress.
Oh, really?
U.S. representative. No, it may be a state race. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay, well, that's something that we should, like, know, have in our information, which race it is. But I guess you got that. So were you able to video record any of it at all?
Yes, I've uploaded 4 files, 4 videos.
Oh.
It's because I had to do it, and I actually lost a whole segment because I didn't realize I didn't have the record button pushed on. But it gives a good idea, and it gave me some experience in actually capturing information on the ballot, because you can actually see when they're saying no vote. There's actually no vote. It was an undervote. They were also very much more, I guess, aware that there was someone there observing this time. They provided a lot of additional information, gave a little background information before they got started, made sure that they were dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's. And there is one video where Wesley Wilcox, the superintendent of elections, talks a little bit about why they're having the recount.
Oh, that's good. See, we're seeing right there already. You know, this is what I've always noticed, is that you know, it does make a difference that when you're there. You know, it's not like you can tell there's a palpable difference in the room when there's a citizen there filming or observing versus not. So important. Okay, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing those videos as soon as we can get them. We'll make sure they get on this page, and I think we'll put them on the same page because everybody who comes there is going to want to watch all of them.
Now, I updated the page, Ray, with links. I didn't actually upload the videos, and I'm not sure I know how to do that. But if you go there, it talks about video 1, video 2, video 3, and you can click on the link and get to the YouTube.
That's good. Yeah, it's not too hard to actually embed it. You just in Google or YouTube, you pick share, and then you pick, instead of the link, there's another tab that says embed code, and you just copy that and paste it in. Done. It's the same as pasting a link, and you just paste in the embed code. So let's see. I said open in a new tab, and let's see what you got there. Yeah, it's turning out to be a pretty good page that we've got going here.
There, you just have to.
Yeah, there they are.
Go to the final video and the next line, and it's the one where he talks about the percentages and why they're having the recount. It's a shorter video.
Yeah, I see that they're kind of like, they're looking even more official right away just because you're there. That's nice, sweeping around to see.
That's their that's where the machines are. That's where they do the tallies, the automated tallies.
Did you find out who the other guy is? I guess he's on this end this time, right?
Yes, I did. He's an alternate for the commission, the county commissioners.
And you're the only person. You were the only person there.
Yes, they were expecting me.
Yeah. See, that's.
And by the way, it's a good thing if you let them know ahead of time that you're going to be there.
Right. Well, I tried to. I tried to tell them ahead of time. We sent that email and said we were having people come. So it's not like we didn't do that. But you're right, and I find it's really helpful just to say, you know, out of courtesy, we're letting you know that we're planning to video record this. And none of the counties said anything about video recording at all. So I don't think that they're going to be like Arizona, where they said to John Brakey that he couldn't even attend the meeting. So we're having trouble, and we're having trouble there. Okay, but getting back to this, yeah, okay, so this is great that you got these. I'll have to view, we'll have to all view those. Now go ahead, you got, so they only looked at the undervotes and overvotes, and did they change any of them, or was anything changed?
Nothing was changed, and he also mentioned that in all the audits that they've had since 2006, that there have been no differences in the machine results and the audit results. Okay, well, that's kind of, well, it depends on if it's how they're doing the ballots. It's actually kind of unusual that there's never any difference, because what we found was that if we weren't there paying attention and watching it, that's what they came up with. But when we started really watching and make sure they followed the rules exactly, then they got variances. Like San Diego has variances all the time now. And in other counties like Alameda County, they have no variances whatsoever. And there's going to be sometimes a misfeed. Sometimes, you know, a ballot is fed through twice accidentally. There's going to be some errors. And so to say that there's no variances whatsoever makes me worried that, makes me, you know, guess that they're not really, you know, no one is there watching them enough to, because the variances are going to come up in the next phase. Well, you're not going to see it because they're not doing the real audit. They're not going to find anything with this sort of a recount that doesn't do anything. And, you know, it should be on the agenda of all election integrity people to get rid of this. I mean, the audit they're doing is already so minuscule. Why would you get rid of it just because you're doing a recount? You would always do it. And that way,
you would have it be consistent. To get out of it because the recount is just crazy. But what we would need to do is have people, and I guess we'll have the opportunity to do that in this in this period of watching these. We'll be able to have people watch the actual audit type of a tallying process. And if you're there, then, you know, if there is a difference, they can't just fudge it and say there was no difference. They have to actually say, okay, there was a difference. If no one is there, then, you know, they never report a difference. Like, everything's fine, you know, here. And this is what they were doing in Cuyahoga County, where when Michael Vu was there, they were pre-stacking the ballots so that there would never be a difference. Why? We don't want to have any difference, then we have to do more work. So the other thing is to make sure the ballots are secured, and this is kind of hard to do. They pick a precinct and a race. How are we able to really see that they're secured? Except when they bring them in, I guess, when they bring them into the manual tally, we want to check to see, is there a seal on the box? Is it sealed? When was it last opened? You know, there's some questions that could be asked there. Even with this minuscule tallying process, there's a lot that we can do as observers to make sure that there are not, you know, fudging things. Okay, good. So
I'm not sure we're going to see a seal on the box. If you want to see the way that they bring the ballots out, you can watch this video a little bit more.
I will. I haven't. I don't know if we can really effectively do it here. They're still just talking here. I'm just going through this. They don't seem in this first video to be doing anything like that.
Maybe it's in the second one then.
All right. See, this is, I'm in the wrong. I guess I gotta get over to your page here. That one up to, where is it? Marion. Too many tabs open. All right, so let's see. We're not getting any audio. We're just going to see what.
Oh yeah, we said the Pledge to Allegiance too.
That's good. All right, that's how they come out, not in sealed boxes.
No.
Oh, that is it. No, we're going to have to complain about that. What is this thing? Bunch of bins?
Well, they've been through several counts, you know, and they had to be processed in the machine.
Oh, I see. So it's before the machine count. We'd have to watch to see what they are. What is? Did they explain? I'll have to watch this more to understand. I'll tell you what. Let me watch this, and I'll you know, later, because I'm going to want to go through it in detail and see what they're doing, because I've been through enough of these to be able to have some helpful hints, and I hopefully will get other people involved in you know, watching enough of these so that you know how it's supposed to be done, even more than the people working there. I hope the citizen observer should be very sophisticated and be able to say, wait a second, you know, there's no seals on these boxes. Where were they secured? What you know, why are you just bringing these out, and so forth. So so far I'm a bit concerned that they have them in the trays here. Who knows what happened before this? No wonder they don't, you know, they could easily pre-count these and make sure that they were all going to match. And so then let's just see, for interest's sake, this is the third one. And so this is later in the process. So when did you skip not do it, you're saying? Was it before video one?
It was between 1 and 2.
Okay. Do you think there was anything significant there? Because
no, it was pretty much more of this.
More of just this, or between 2 and 3? Because this is just counting. It doesn't really matter. That's the part. It's actually like before they bring it in and at the end, because the counting process is not as critical as, like, did they pre-count them, and the only way you know that is if the seals are in place. And at the end, did they actually have a problem or not, and just say that they didn't. So, and they're not supposed to, in theory, they're not supposed to know the results. Of course, here, they already know the certified results for the race, and it's all public. So you're not going to be able to really have a sort of blinded audit, which is what you're supposed to have, if you can, you know, in audit theory 101. Okay, so let's, this is very, very good work, Margaret. You deserve a hand. Clap, clap for doing such a good job of getting this done. And let's see. Final video is, okay, so you got 4 videos. Audit is no longer required. Well, that will be interesting too. So I'm going to take a look at all those, and this is a good way to handle that. I'll put those, I'll take care of embedding all that stuff in there for you. All right, now let's talk to this. We want to go back to this schedule here and review with the other attendees, because we do have here Sarah and Diane. Sarah being in Lee County, which is, trying to think of the name of it, that's at the bottom there. What is the name of the main town in Lee County? It's the very bottom of the west side. Anyway, that's Lee County. And then Diane is in Broward County. Okay, so if either Sarah or Diane, do you guys want to try to speak up? See, connecting via the web. I think you should. You have to unmute yourself in the. Okay, Diane.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah. Okay, Diane. Good. Yeah. Hi, Diane.
Hi. That was Sarah.
Oh, you're Sarah. Okay. Okay, because Sarah is on the phone. That's right. Okay, Sarah. So that's fine. I see Diane is now unmuting herself too. That's good. And so, Sarah, you are. What is the name of the town? You're living on a boat. So where are you right now?
Fort Myers.
That's what I was trying to think of. Okay, so that's
I put it in the messages. Can you not see the messages?
Well, I can, but the thing is that I can't expose everything at once. They have it in one. The chat room here is. Yeah, here we go. I can see that. Yeah, Fort Myers. There it is. All right, so...
Did you send a notice to Lee County that I'm coming?
We did send a notice to all the top 15 counties that we were going to have volunteers doing this, and okay. That we got, some of them updated us in terms of, and actually the information, what their responses were, is included down here. So I put in, this is the email. If you look in this oversight suggestions, this is the email that we did send out to all of you.
I read that.
That is what we sent.
Broward County?
Your county did not. Lee County did not. Yeah, here it is. It said Lee County's canvassing board will be meeting September 2nd, Friday at 9 a.m. And to select the random race and precinct. So we kind of missed that. That was the important part. But it doesn't matter. We still want to do on Wednesday. So we have until Wednesday here at 9 a.m. They're going to be doing the manual audit. So I would, if you can, go to this manual audit. And I guess it's maybe at Thompson Street, Fort Myers, Florida. I'm not sure where they're doing it. They didn't say anything else here about where
Well,
it
that's
is.
where I'll go.
Yeah, that's where you want to
That's
go.
where I'll go.
Yeah, go there, be there, you know, before 9 a.m. so that you're there in plenty of time to catch whatever happens at the very beginning. Can you video record it?
I have a cell phone, an Apple, that will do video.
Perfect.
And I have a pair of sunglasses that also does video, that no one knows I'm videotaping.
Well, don't do it that way. We want them to know that you're videotaping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole idea, is to also put them on notice that we're recording what they're doing. It helps, gives us a lot of power.
Okay.
So, and what I find is, what I did was I got a fairly inexpensive tripod, and I learned that if you get a one of those selfie sticks and don't use the stick part, just take off the end that holds the cell phone and then screw that onto the tripod. Those are only like $7.99. Otherwise, you have to pay like $20 for the cell phone holder. You just get the cell phone holder off a selfie stick, put it on the tripod, and just let it sit there, and that way it doesn't jiggle. But that should work as long as you have enough memory to record the whole thing. How long did it take? Well, I guess Martha's off now. We'll see how long it is. It doesn't look like it took very long, probably less than an hour for sure of what they were doing there. But if...
I have a question.
All right, who's that?
That's me, Diane.
Okay, hi, Diane. Okay, so let's see. Diane, you are in Broward County, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. All right, so go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, with my cell phone to record this meeting in Broward,
Okay.
and I've never recorded something like that with a cell phone. Does anyone know how long of a recording you can get in a cell phone?
It all depends on...
As long as you're batty.
Yeah, it depends on the amount of memory you have, and usually you can record into, you know, if you have additional memory. It's actually like when my cell phone is already like tapped out. What kind of cell phone do you have?
And it's an Android. It's a Galaxy 5.
Oh, okay. So the Galaxy 5 has internal memory only, I believe, and so, but it has quite a bit. I mean, it has many gigabytes of memory.
Use the whole up. So I was thinking I might even get a prepaid cell phone to do this.
Now, actually, when you think that you don't have any memory in it because you can't add applications, usually you have plenty of memory in reality. But I would take a look at the storage, go to the you know, settings under storage and see how much memory you have. And usually, I'm not sure if these do it, but at least my regular video recorder tells me how many minutes I have, you know, left, how much I can record maximum. We really don't need like super high resolution. If you can set it down, then you can take a longer one. You know, some of these have ungodly high resolution as if we need it to be super, but we don't need it to be super resolution. We just need like, you know, basic resolution. But what's really important is if we can get good sound, and that's actually the harder part of getting, you know, doing this sort of videoing stuff. But what I would do is try your phone, make sure you practice up in terms of setting it up and seeing, you know, you might want to run it, see how long a video it'll record, and then see if you can find it and get it into your computer. Normally, I have to hook mine up with a USB cable and then look into its memory to transfer over the video. But there may be a way now, you know, with Android to like instantly upload it to YouTube. You know, if you get a, you know, you press share sometimes and it'll just be able to put it directly on YouTube.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going
Yeah.
to try it out.
Yeah, try it, you know, and if you can put it on YouTube, just take some test runs, see if you can get it to upload to YouTube, or if not, just record it internally and not worry about uploading to YouTube, and then we'll worry about that later, okay? Because the main thing is to get it recorded. Let's see. So you are in Broward. They are not going to have an audit, but they're going to be doing the recount. That's what I understand. Now, Margaret, you're on the phone, right? So what, can you confirm that that's the case?
I didn't see anything about changing the schedule when I went on their site today.
Okay, so maybe they're still going to do the audit?
It looked that way to me.
Well, this would be very important then, because at Broward is going to, according to the schedule that we have listed, at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow, they're going to be doing the random selection. So that's the meeting, and that's not a real long meeting. So I don't think that you're going to get topped out. And then on the 9th at 10 a.m., they're going to be doing the actual manual audit. Now, here's what I got: two conflicting information here, though. Somebody emailed me and said that the Broward County Canvassing Board would meet at the Supervisor of Elections Voting Equipment Center at 1501 Northwest 40th Avenue in Lauderhill, Florida. And then someone else said from the August 31st press release, the canvassing board meetings were held at the Supervisor of Elections Service Center at 7835 Central Industrial Drive in Riviera Beach. So,
oh no, that what happens is that I sent you both that information, and the second one is for Palm Beach County.
Oh, the second one is for Palm Beach. Okay, so
yes,
I'm going to move that down. I'll move that down to Palm Beach. Let's just do that right now, and you can kind of see how I do this. I edit wiki text. This is the way I always do this. Make it full screen. This out of the way. Get into the table. It's kind of a bit of a mess here, but it's the second one. The canvassing board meetings in Riviera Beach. That's the one you're saying is West Palm Beach, right? Okay, so I'm going to cut that out there, get rid of the break, and then go down to Palm Beach and put it in there, put a break in. So we start a new. It has to all be on one line on these stupid things. All right, then I'm saving it down here. I've got to get to the bottom. Oops. Save. That's kind of how you work with these pages. I mean, it's basically a matter of just saying edit and then changing something. All right, now let's take a look here at the table, and we fix that. All right, now we have Broward County is at the Elections Voting Equipment Center in Lauderhill, Florida, and we have Palm Beach canvassing board meetings at Election Service Center. Is that accurate then, to your knowledge, Diane?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. The only problem, I was just trying to find out information about Palm Beach because you had said that you wanted to find someone for that county.
Yeah, yeah.
And I needed to have information to give to anybody I found of when and where there was going to be a meeting, but they don't have anything posted.
Okay, well that's perfect that you got that information to us so we could update this, even though we still don't have anybody to do it. But
right. So I was thinking anyway, even if I can't, because it's just really too far and I don't have scheduling conflicts, I wouldn't be able to get there and get back in time.
Yeah, that's all right.
But if I found someone, I'd like to be able to give them the information, you know, and what I'm going to do is tomorrow morning, I'll call Palm Beach County and ask them if they're having a meeting and where. Yeah,
ask them, and if you guys in Florida have you know, friends, neighbors, and contacts that would be interested in election integrity, we can get that information to them. And you know, we're continuing to get more people signing up all the time. So we may be able to do it. I see here we don't even have the dates written in here. So if you will do that, even though you're not going there, you know, it's still helpful to have people who are
I'm
doing
trying to
that kind of work.
figure out. I guess they must be having some type of meeting, right? Recount or something.
Yeah, they have to do it, and in this case, we don't see any indication that they're going to do a recount. So they need to do the audit according to the law. And
were they one of the ones that answered your email?
no, they did not, because I have no information on them.
Oh, I thought the date for 9/9 at 10 o'clock was for Palm Beach County. I'm mistaken?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm looking down. I'm sorry, I didn't say anything. I'm looking down. I just wanted to double check that. No, I didn't get anything from them via email, and there's nothing that we had before, and I haven't looked into it myself. So basically what we're up against here is just we're short, you know, we haven't done this before for Florida, and you know, I don't expect us to be anywhere close to, you know, having everything covered or even doing it perfectly. That's fine. Just the fact that we're there, these people all talk to each other. They're saying, oh my God, we had people video recording in ours. And so it makes a difference to all of them. So no, if you can find somebody in Palm Beach that can do it, that'd be great. It sounds like we have someone, what's her name? I always get it wrong. I think it's not Kirsten. It's Karina. Karina in Miami-Dade, and she says she has some other people. She's not on right now that I know of. Karina, are you online? See, no, she's not. She could be one of those callers. All right.
Well, is there happening in Miami-Dade or not? Because evidently they had canceled, and now you say that they're really supposed to have a meeting because they did the recount?
Well, what we had originally is we were misinformed on this. So I should actually get rid of this audits will not happen in, because what we determined was that the machine recount does not qualify as a substitute for the manual audit. It has to be a manual recount, and even that is not really a manual recount. It is a count of over or under votes only. Okay, they don't actually tally everything in the for the race in the precinct. Let's see. So the bottom line here is that we need to assume, okay, and even if the audit is not happening, that doesn't mean that we should not attend the recount. We should try to go to the recount, but apparently what they're doing is not notifying us we're not given any time to prepare for their schedules. They just quickly change them. So unless you're right there and ready to see what they're doing, you might miss it, because they like suddenly change it.
They're on my list. They're on my list to call in the morning too. I'm going to find out. I'm going to call directly to their supervisor of elections and find out and relay that to Karina and see if either
send it directly to Karina, and then also send it to me or actually Margaret, and send it to everybody on that list. Anybody who can go ahead. If you've learned how to edit on this collaboration platform, then you can just update the information, because we don't have any information about this.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine if you don't. If you don't feel comfortable, then don't try. We'll have someone else do it. All right, so basically, in summary then, we have great work by Margaret. She did the Marion. We'll have to everybody take a look at this this link here that says Marion Random Draw and the videos. And so that will give you a preparation about what you're about to see. And I will look at them too and make my comments about what I think they're either doing right or wrong. Okay, and so you can see, okay, well, we should have caught them on this, or we should have asked for that. Because you have a lot of power, by the way. As a citizen in a meeting, you'd be surprised how much power you have to ask for information, and they have to give it to you without delay. They cannot just continue their meeting unless you have all of the information that they have. Far too often I've been in meetings where I didn't know this, and they were going, okay, on paragraph 14 on page 6, the word shall on the second line should be may. Well, if you don't have the document, you don't know what they're talking about, and you just sit there and zone out because you don't have it. Well, you can ask. You can say, excuse me, I don't have that document that you're looking at. Can you please provide it so I can follow along? They can't do anything more in the meeting until they give you that document. They have to give it to you without delay. Now, that's how it is in California. I think the other areas of the country are roughly the same. However, in these election meetings, they're like a different animal a lot of times. They don't always follow it to the T in terms of how they're supposed to handle meetings. And why that is, I'm not sure, but we need to get it straightened up. So we have Diane is saying she's going to make those calls in the morning. Sarah, you're in Lee County. You're planning to go in we missed the 9/2 meeting, and on 9/7, you're going to go in and video record. Sarah, are you still online? Did we cover that? You said you were going to do that, right? Sarah?
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. So I'm just trying to check my memory. Did you say that you were going to be able to go to the 9 a.m. meeting and video record the one in Fort Myers?
I'll make it my business to go. I just want you to know that I've been fooling around with Fort Myers, the city of Fort Myers, not Lee County, but the city of Fort Myers, and it is a good old boy network down to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's unfortunately nothing new. That's why our elections are such a mess. Really, they have that good old boy network concept, and they feel like they can do anything. But you know what? I'll tell you, being there with a video camera and just documenting what they're doing, you get a lot of power. You just trust me. This is good work that you're doing. Okay, so we got that one covered. We have Diane going to Broward tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. and making some calls. We have Karina, who's not online right now. Hopefully, we're going to get information to her about the exact location, time, and so forth, what's going on. It looks like they've already done the selection meeting in Miami-Dade, and all they're doing is the audit, but it'll still be useful to cover that audit and video record it as much as possible. And it's shown here on the list at 2700 Northwest 87th Avenue in Miami, Florida as a location. That's starting on 9/8. So that would be, what do we get? It's the 6th tomorrow, Tuesday. That'll be Thursday, okay, is when that starts. So we have a couple of days of breathing room to figure out if there's any changes there. And then Palm Beach, if anybody else can do it, we hopefully find somebody, but that's our top. Between those three, those are really our top. We have somebody for Broward. We have somebody hopefully from Miami-Dade, and no one yet for Palm Beach. And those are the top three that we'd like to do. Hillsborough is not having, but it says canceled here, but that means it's a recount. So what we want to do is actually get information about the recount and not just say canceled, because that implies there's nothing to do. So that'd be a change in what we do. Same with Broward County. So we'll have to look and see if there's a way that we can see what the recount was. Maybe already over with. Lee County is number 8. So number 4, Hillsborough, that's canceled. So Hillsborough, I think that's Orlando. No, that's Tampa area.
Tampa.
Yeah, okay. Now which one, because Orlando's pretty big. Which one of these is Orlando? Okay, Orange County, that's right. We don't have that one covered at all. That one, the selection's already done, but it's on the 8th. Okay. All right, so I think that's the schedule. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because we're here in discussion. Go ahead.
I just want to say that the
Okay, who's talking now?
Sarah.
Okay, hi Sarah. Go ahead.
The thing that we were trying to do, building the database and going and fielding 9,000 to 15,000 people to do the county thing in November, I think I should put that aside and just focus on getting you people for November.
Yeah, I think so. I think, what you were doing was exactly the right idea, except you weren't prioritizing what you were doing. And I think then you get a lot of wasted time because we need to concentrate on these top 175 counties. That's going to be enough work getting people to do those. But at least it's close to doable. I mean, it's only 175. It's not 8,000. And there's something also going on in Wisconsin. We need somebody to help us deal with the Wisconsin problem because they have 3,500 districts there. And that's really just unreasonable. That's like taking all of the precincts and writing them down. And I think this is a way that they've been able to conceal what goes on in that state so that it's very, very hard to oversee it. Because if you have to oversee 3,500 things, it's like you can't do it, right? And what we're doing here is we're only in Florida, we're trying to do 15 things, and even that is hard. To do 175 things is going to be a very big project. Okay.
Well, I completed my database yesterday of all of the Facebook friends that I have, which is like 1,793 friends.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And what I want, and most of them, we probably have an outreach, depending upon overlap, of over 50,000 people between those friends. And what I have to do over the next couple of days after we get through with this is to find out what county everybody's in. And then I'll share those. I will talk to them directly, and I will share those names with you because you said you needed to train them before October. Right. Is that correct?
Yeah, and actually we're kind of I wish I could say that we had all the information that we need for training right now. The reality is that we're actually learning as we go as well. We've done this in a few places. We know in California, what the situation was, and it took me a few years to just figure it out. Now we're going to different areas, and each place is a little bit different. So it is going to be a learning situation. We're going to need some people in each area to be autonomous, learners in a way, because there's no way it can all go through, Ray Lutz trying to do 175 counties, So it has to be, and this is an interesting part of it. It is not the regular deal where it's a top-down. This is kind of like the MoveOn.org paradigm where they tell you what to do. Everybody has a house party at this time, and we're going to do this. Okay, we can't do that. We have to have people who are individually working together, like hopefully this group here in Florida. You guys have taken the ball really well so far. I compliment Margaret for doing a lot of work up front and stepping forward early and, taking care of doing a little bit of research on the counties and stuff really, really helped. And that procedure worked out just fine. And so what we have is this training that we're doing is unfortunately kind of difficult because what you're looking for are very small deviations from a norm that we don't even really have figured out yet. But each place should have a way of working with these things. And for example, this deal that we don't think is really, they weren't trying to cheat or anything, but we didn't realize that a machine recount didn't mean that necessarily the audit was not going to be done. So we thought machine recount, okay, everything's canceled. But actually, it's only if you do the hand audit. Well, it took a little bit of reading before I realized that, and I thought, oh, well, I'm onto something here, when in essence it was just a misperception on our part about how things were supposed to work. But if you're not there watching, then the county could go, okay, well, we did a machine recount, so the audit is off. And if no one knows, then they just get out of doing the audit when they should have done it. So it's the kind of thing where when you're watching, you may not see anything, but trust me, you're having a really big impact just by being there and watching these people. Especially when you show up with a video camera and your cell phone and you're video recording it, and then they see themselves on YouTube the next day that your video recorded everything that they did. This is a very powerful thing that we have at our disposal now that we never had before. So we have to make use of that just in itself, if that's all that you do and you don't do any real analysis. But we hope that we can get, what we have here is a bunch of people. We have probably a few dozen, in essence, we have probably a half a dozen really hard workers, and then a couple of dozen people that can just come in 2 hours here or there. But a lot of people still watching it. And by having a lot of people watching it, then we have people thinking about what's going on, and they'll see things or think of things that wouldn't occur to them. And that's why I found it so far kind of difficult to standardize. The 175 districts that we've targeted are completely right across the map. You don't know what the rules are in various categories. So we're focusing in on that. So the training, unfortunately, right now is not, okay, watch unit number 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5, and then you're done. I think what it's going to be is more like, here's an example of a manual tally that was done. You guys are actually preparing at this point the course material for everybody else in the nation to work from, as an example. I have other examples from California, but these are like two ends of the spectrum. California has a fairly good audit process, with 1% of all the precincts for all races. You guys have one race and 1% of the precincts only for that one race. So it's a totally end of the spectrum. If you still have an audit, that's the least amount that you can do. You can't do any less than was one race. And you could do less than 1%, but you can't do less than one race. All right, so that's why, yes, the goal, and I'm going to be working as soon as we get past this Florida situation, because we have a lot of urgency right now in trying to get these videos taken care of, but this is all going to be done next week. So after next week, then I'll be able to attend to getting everybody say, okay, what for your training, watch this, this, and this, and then you should be ready to go out and do it. But even then, I know I can't even imagine, because so far it's been a lot of work, even dealing with just a few counties, additional counties in California and Florida and Arizona, that the amount of work that we have to do and to get people up to speed and overseeing this is quite a bit. But let's look at the bright side. We're not going to do it perfectly at first, but people will become trained, not this time, maybe not even at this November election, but the next election downstream, they should have the experience under their belt about what happened. New people will then be on board, and then they can train their groups. I think that's a realistic view of it. But wow, let's work as hard as we can to get them set up. So Sarah, what I want to help, what I want to talk to you about as soon as this this week is over with is, what happened here? I got switched over to another thing. Is to one of the things that has been happening to me a lot is this list here that we've already prepared, this colorful list. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
You can. Okay, good. Well, this is the list of the prioritized counties, and we have this list already prepared in the order, and we have the top 175 targeted here. And then so what we want to do is put that on a web page so that people can just look at it. And
well, that
then,
would be great.
Yeah, it would, because, you know, everybody, this is information that everybody can have. And then there's another type of a list here, which is by county, and I've already gotten all of this information. So somebody contacted me from Ohio as an example here, and then I added the calculations here for each one of the counties. These are the counties in order. It's already sorted that way, in the counties in order for every state. And I got off of Ohio just a minute. Here it is. So Ohio has 88 counties. It's a lot of counties for a fairly small state. And they have...
They seem to like that. You should see Alabama. My God.
So they have 7.7 million voters. And, well, no, the worst thing is Wisconsin. Okay, so here's Wisconsin. They have 3,589 county districts. It goes on and on forever. It's like almost half of the districts in the nation are in Wisconsin. So we have to figure out Wisconsin some other way, because there's no way we can have 3,500 people assigned to do this. There's got to be a different way to deal with this. Those, I think, are kind of like the precincts. That's how they've submitted them. So back to Ohio.
Well, that's what Alabama does. Alabama does the same thing. They do everything at the precinct level, and they're over 2,100 precincts.
Well, let's see. Alabama, no, they have 67 counties, according to this.
Yeah.
AL,
but
that's Alabama.
They count at the precinct.
They count at the precinct? You mean they're doing hand counting?
I don't think it's hand counting. I think it's machine counting.
Okay, but I think that we have the ability to take a look at this on a county by county basis. So you can go to, even though it might be, yeah. So we have here in Alabama. I just did this as it was the first one in the file. Our top 20% of the counties is only 14 counties that we would start with, and that's 62% of the vote. So really, you can just stop right there. You don't have to go on, because it's a huge percentage of the vote. If you go on and do the next 40% of the counties, you're up to 27 counties, and you've got 80% of the vote. That's enough. You don't have to do this. The total number of counties is 67. You can just ignore the other 47 counties. All right, 40 counties. So it really cuts down our overhead if we can strip this down by priority. But going back to Ohio then, as an example, because the guy contacted me, it has 88 counties, and basically if we take the top 9, these top 9 counties are the ones that are specified in the other 175 top counties in the nation. That's 10% of the counties here, but it's half of the voters. And to start with, that's what we want to do is start with 10%. Go on. Someone said something.
Have you included Cuyahoga because of its corruption in the past?
No, I'm...
11.43%.
No,
Or those
that's a
cumulative
huge,
totals?
no, that's the largest county in the state.
I understand now. I didn't understand the sheet.
Yeah, see, that's, so you see here's a number of voters, and it's 855,000. Franklin is next with 804,000. And this is the cumulative total if you add up the cumulative vote total. So far, if you add these two together, you get 21 and so forth. So the first three counties are up to 30% of the vote. Then if you go up, to get to 50%, you only have to go to 9 counties. And these top 9 counties are in the top 175. So the two approaches are working out really well for Ohio. And yeah, we definitely, we see that Cuyahoga County was one of the most corrupt counties. The guy there, Michael Vu, moved from Cuyahoga County, which is ranked, I think, at this other one here. We go back and look at the first. I just did it in color so I could find him. Cuyahoga County is number 25. He moved from the 25th in the nation to the 6th largest in the nation. So this guy was rewarded for having to resign. I mean, why does this happen? It is only only in America, I guess. Okay, so we have Diane Fowler just joined in as we're just about to complete. Diane, do you want to say anything since you came online? If you want to unmute yourself. Okay, well, if you do, go ahead and say I can't. You have to unmute yourself in your own control panel to be able to talk. I can't do it for you. I can mute you, but I can't unmute you. And I can't stop you from unmuting either, which is kind of weird. Let's see. So let's go back to what I was just saying, Sarah. What I'm going to do is take basically this table and put it onto the website, and then I want to take whatever information you have and make sure that we can integrate it with this table and with the individual
Yeah, Sarah,
states.
have to step away from your phone for a minute.
Okay, is that Diane?
No, this is John, Sarah's husband. And Sarah had to step away from your phone for a minute.
Oh, okay. Oh, Sarah had to. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, this is Sarah's other half?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I see you in your, in your information about your sailboat and stuff. That sounds pretty interesting. All right, well, just in that case, we won't say what she's going to do. She already said she would be game for this, but that's sort of where we're going.
You've got her back now.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you're back online, Sarah? Okay, well, what I was saying is that this table with the colorful part, that we can put on the website so people can see what the top 175, and that will eliminate some questions because they've already been asking me, is my county in the top 175? And I want to be able to answer that. And the second thing, because we have I put the 175 on that map, and I thought that was very interesting to see where the counties were on the map. And that was kind of fun to see, where are these counties, because I didn't know. 175 counties, who knows where they are. And it's very interesting to see that map because it's not very much covered on the area of the United States. Very, very little. And still, that's 50% of the voters are in those little tiny spots. Then there's this other table.
Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
Oh, it's Diane. Just when you have time. Just keep on going.
Is this Diane Fowler or Diane, the other Diane?
Diane Fowler. It's Diane Fowler.
Okay, good. I just wanted to also say that what we need to do is for each state is to take this table and kind of do the same thing as I did here by ranking these. And the formula is fairly simple. It needs to be somebody who understands spreadsheets. So It just is going to take some time to put this little heading on, and then this. And then what we did in Florida was we created the what you can do is create the little map, and it's a thing online which helps you create a map that has you know, colorful coding on it. Pretty cool. It's a free thing on the internet. And let's see, the audit database. And then what we're going to do is set up online, and there's a woman in California who has been adding all of the audits from recent years into our audit database online. So, and I'll show you that in a second, but first, the Florida, we have this sort of a map which we created on that web-based system, and color-coded the counties for the top 20 and the top 40% of the state. So you really should never go beyond this in terms of, like, yeah, people can, if they live in one of these other counties, they can do whatever they want. But we want to hit these because it's something like 75% of all the voters are in this area. And in California, it's even more dramatic in terms of what the coverage is. And let's see if it's here. In California, these red areas, if you can see it here online, are just these red areas. San Francisco you can barely see, but it's there also. These red areas account for 75% of the voters, and with the blue areas it's 92%. Just these, San Diego, which is this county at the bottom, and Orange County, which is this one, this little one, and Los Angeles County, which I believe is this next one right here, is half of the voters. Just three counties are half of the voters. So this is why we really want to, we don't want to get, I started with, I'll do all the counties. Then I realized some of the counties only have one precinct they're not worth doing. So we want to do kind of this same project with each state that we're interested in, and take a look and make priorities of which counties we're going to work on, and have these little pictures. But then what we're doing in California is we have the online database started. I'll show it to you real quick here, and then we'll get off the line. But it's at Cops Wiki, and it's at, if you just go to the elections web, and then we have down here is the audit database. I did make a video of how to do this, and I should have the video right here so you can see. I'll put that in. But there's all the election districts that we have so far. These are only in California, but we can be sorted into the other states. And if you take one of the election districts, then for that election district, we have the audits from the recent years. And what has been happening is the Secretary of State of California has just been omitting these and not archiving them at all. And so now we're making this and completing this for all the counties in California. We're doing the top 24 counties, as I showed you, basically the top 40%, which is 92% of the vote. We're just going to do that. And those audits, once we complete that, then we're going to have sort of a big splash saying we're setting up this audit database. So what I'm going to do is, yep.
Can you tell me where Contra Costa County fits into that? Because that's the only county in California that gave me pushback.
Contra Costa is an important county in California. And this, I don't know if you can see this, but all the yellow.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay, and then down here we'll see where Contra Costa is, right here. So Contra Costa County is number 59 in the nation.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's a Walnut Creek area across, you know, from
I know where it is. I grew up in California.
Okay, cool. So this is a pretty significant county in terms of population. Let's see, that's the number of registered voters is here. The cumulative you don't really have to look at. Let's see, let's go down to 52 again. It's basically, we're 59. So they have 528,000 voters in that area.
Yeah, and buckets of money.
They do have a lot of money, and they also, that means also that they are likely to be perverted or, you know, an election district that's hard to work with. But the worst one to work with that I've heard about is Alameda, which is right next door to that in Oakland. They have 814,000 voters, and they were just very difficult, although they have said that they will do all of the ballots, including all the vote by mails and provisionals, in their audit. So they've already said that they would do it all. So in that respect, they've been very cooperative. What they haven't done is allowed people to observe it all. You can't take notes, you can't say anything, you can't get close to anything to be able to see it. Very, very restrictive, no video cameras. Los Angeles County, in comparison, has 4.8 million voters in just that county. Now that's a little bit deceiving because you have really places like Chicago with 1.6 million, but also right next to it, it's part of Cook County. Everything that's not Chicago City is 1.5 million. So add those up, it's still pretty big. And also then in New York, they have it broken up. Brooklyn has 1.4 million, but then you have Queens with 1.1, Manhattan with 1 million, Suffolk County, Long Island, all these are pretty close to each other. And yet they split them up into separate counties, which is deceiving, making it look not as important because they've split them up. Well, it's not really fair at all. That's still a very, very important area if you think about it, New York City and all of its areas. All right, so I think we've gone on for long enough. I have to get over to another meeting at 4:30, so I have to get off the line. So Diane, you wanted to talk. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
All I want to say is I sent you an email. I'd like you to give me a call either later today or in the next few days. I'm in the Detroit, Michigan area.
Oh, Detroit. In fact, we're going to be there later this month because my wife is from Michigan, and so we're taking a little holiday, and we'll be going through Detroit. So maybe we can even chat when we're there.
Very good.
There is another person. Excuse me just a second. There's another volunteer in Michigan who lives in the Port Huron area, and
that's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay, so
it's me.
All right, so Diane, you're not in Detroit at all. You should say where you are.
Well, I basically volunteer between Port Huron and Detroit.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Detroit there's Detroit and the surrounding. Let's just.
Was it Oakland County? I think you said last phone call I was on.
Well, let's just see here. Which one is it? Yeah. So if we go to Michigan, and I don't know if I've broken this down yet, but we can at least look at the list. Let's see, wait a second. Michigan. Okay, so Michigan has, well, it isn't broken down by counties yet. It's quite a few counties. 2324 minus 2242, something like 90 counties. And Wayne County, which is Detroit, has 1.3 million people. Look how much bigger that is than anything else. The next one down is 140,000, Oakland County, which is right next door. So,
yep.
So these top few counties are, really taking the lion's share. It goes down very quickly. And then, you know, all these other counties in Michigan that are up north are not going to be really that significant in terms of the total vote count. But if we take the top, it'll be about the top 20 counties that we'll want to do, if possible.
So I was a Bernie delegate to the convention, so I'm hooked in with all the delegates.
Yeah.
Here in the Bernie delegates, so I can pretty much, and the Green Party, so I can pretty much rally people in every county. Also, I wanted to offer that I do website design, and I've also been a volunteer coordinator and a grant writer. So I'd like to just talk to you about all of that.
I definitely want to talk to you about all that because you are exactly what we need. And I've been thinking about you over and over and over because you said all these things earlier. So yeah, I can't do it right now because I have to go to this meeting at 4:30, and so I will need to get going. Anything more that's super urgent? I think we've got everything squared away, but anything else? Okay.
I'm good.
All right, so I guess let's close the call. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. We will be recording this for Karina, who was not able to attend especially, but anyone else who wants to listen in. Thank you very much, and let's clean up the elections. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.